that doesn't go to say that he also didn't hurt my feelings. My feelings was hurt. I've had hurt feelings because of some of the stuff that he said. Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is a channel where we find the truth, seek understanding, and be the light. And I want to put emphasis on seeking understanding and being the light. It's become an interesting situation, the events that happened this week. So many people feel differently about it, and a lot of people are entitled to their opinions. And we shouldn't act on other people's opinions. We should have more self control if somebody disagrees. And what I'm referring to, of course, is in regards to the ending of Charlie Kirk's life. Social media has definitely opened up a floodgate of people just, coming in with their comments. I've seen a lot of opinions of people in this matter that shocked me. Depending on the person who actually said it, I kind of wasn't too shocked, but it's still like, dang, I really hate that you feel this way about this situation. I don't know what has, I mean, not that I don't know, clearly I don't know people's lives, but whatever it is that has scorned you, that has filled you with this level of hate and just grimness in your soul to be okay with what happened. It's I hate that has a hold on you right now, because again, we try to look at things objectively. We try to look at things from a clear lens. And of course, not everybody is going to be Christian, so they're not going to look through the same lens as I do, which I understand that. But as everybody's entitled to their opinions, I'm also entitled to my opinion. And to me, what I deem as truth, because of what's been laid out, what's been there, what's been around, what's been held as true, and what's ultimately allowed for peace and a specific lifestyle that is uplifting and encouraging for others, or at least that's the goal of it. When you seek other methods in living, or you choose values as different, and it's really about yourself, then that's kind of how we have issues. Anyways, I just want to go ahead and get into this segment. I just want to say that I don't know, this one, every time when I think about it, it hurts. It hurts a lot that this happened. People would just say, a lot of people would just say, yo, he's just some, just some white smug guy. Probably be like, oh, why some white smug college guy that's just doing, stuff and all that stuff, getting a whole bunch of money. Yo, it's so far from that. Can he be a little smug? Yeah, you can, but that's the level of confidence that he has, and that's the boldness that he has in what he knows and in his faith. I just want to reiterate that this is the last time I'm gonna do a video surrounding his death, but it's because I don't want to harp on this topic. It's already hard enough for me, because literally when the day that it happened, like, it's like, yo, somebody was killed over their views over the freedom of speech, which is what he was advocating for. And yes, gun rights, but we'll get into that. And he was assassinated. He hasn't physically harmed anybody, maybe hurt a couple people's feelings, but that doesn't go to say that he also didn't hurt my feelings. My feelings was hurt before I really started watching his videos and I was hearing about him. My feelings were hurt. They were, surprisingly enough. I've had hurt feelings because of some of the stuff that he said. And eventually, I'm like, you know what? He's actually making some sense. He's actually not, degrading black people. How can you degrade a specific group of people if the information that you're giving is true? If it wasn't true, then that'd be one thing. And of course, he's not speaking for all black people. He's not speaking for all women and the whole abortion situation. He's not speaking for all people that are immigrants that are here in America. He's not speaking for all black people that work. He hasn't. As much as people want to say that he has, he really hasn't. If you guys go back to my videos that I've done on him, listen to what he said. It's just very interesting when we go about our life and we're taking information from other people and we're just seeing things and hearing information, how we interpret it. And that's what I was saying. So going back to him just going out and going to these schools and just, promoting free speech and all that stuff, everything that he's promote, but doing everything from a biblical lens, which is one thing that I'll say. He may be somebody that's heavy on politics, but he is one individual that I know for a fact does it. And he has a biblical lens in mind for sure. And he puts emphasis on that when the topic comes up, and he does it every time. And that's one thing that I definitely loved about Charlie, because he was one that was in the politics, that was in the nitty gritty of politics, that met all the people that's in the White House and all that stuff, and then all of these governors and all that good jazz. But he still remained true to his faith, at least from what we've seen. Ain't nobody got no dirt on him on anything that he's done. It's literally just been him, his faith, and allowing for the next generation to kind of look at the world differently than what's been fed to us, and actually, questioning things and being okay with questioning things. I'm diverting again. My point in that is that when I found out that he got shot, the thing that came to my mind is, I was literally like thinking about going out to a school, and like, I don't even know what specifically, but like literally going out to a school and not debating them, but like having some type of interaction with college kids. Imagine somebody that that feels differently, that just comes out and like jumps me, or just feel the need to just come out of nowhere and do harm to me because I'm doing that. That's what came to my mind. And I'm just like, oh, well, that idea's out the window. But it's not out the window. One, because I'm not that big of a content creator. And two, because this is literally what happened with Jesus. As much as people do not. Now, I don't want y'all saying here saying that I'm comparing Charlie Kirk to Jesus. No, because I'm about to bring somebody else. Paul, same thing that happened. Am I comparing Charlie to Apostle Paul? No. Stephen, who was nobody. He was just another guy that was converted to the faith and was killed by Paul, stoned to death by Paul. But what did he do? He professed his faith and the truth proudly to the Jews who did not believe, who lived the life in the way that they believe, which had no heart, but all rules and whatnot. No heart and mind to really care for other people, and to really hold them accountable, but to really try to live a life that God intended us to live. The Israelites, the Jews, they still didn't get it. So Jesus had to come and save us, but they still didn't even want to believe that. So they were out here persecuting the Christians at that time. And I equate Charlie to that. A lot of people aren't going to like that. A lot of people that I know aren't going to like that I said that. But I challenge those that actually don't like Charlie Kirk to actually sit and listen to what he said, because you really don't know what somebody else is saying unless you sit and you listen, and you listen from a very broad standpoint. You can't bring it to the individual. You can't bring it to you, because that's when it becomes personal, and that's when you miss the point. And the crazy thing is, before I started doing this whole transitioning thing of my political views, there was a situation that I was encountered with that I really prayed to God to trying to figure out how the heck am I going to navigate through this, because I was so heavily hurt, so heavily disturbed in my soul about the situation that was coming up and what was being told to me and how it was presented to me. And I was just filled with rage. But then I realized, I had to take myself out of the situation. What's being offered right now was something that is needed right now. And I can't let my emotions, my pride, get in the way of getting what is needed. Ever since then, the idea of being able to look at situations objectively just became a new thing for me. I put on my Christian lens when I'm looking at a situation, and then I put on my objective truth lens when I'm looking at situations. How true is this situation? How true is what's being said? How factual is what's being said? Are we going based off of emotion, or is it actually something that's legit? So if we're going off of emotion, then I can't operate off of that. I just can't, at least not 100% of the time, unless it's my wife and my daughters. I can't go off of somebody else's emotion. I have to go with what I see, and I have to go with what I know, and I have to go with what has been true. Now, sticky situation, depending on who you talk to. Yeah, sure. But this is the part where we got to try to understand each other, but at the same time, be able to find a common middle ground where it doesn't result into violence at the end of the day. I'm definitely going off script, guys, but I never was good at doing scripts, so we're just going to go ahead and continue on with this whole thing. So one of the verses that I wanted to bring up before we go into the first thing that I have is John 13:34-35. A new commandment I give to you. This is Jesus speaking. A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. So the interesting thing is, I'm full understanding not everybody's going to be Christian, but the crazy thing is, there are a lot of people that claim to be Christian that is glad that this happened. How? How do you claim to be of the faith, and when somebody's being unalived, you're glad? Oh, he had it coming for him. He deserved this. Spewing hate everywhere. Where was the hate? Is the truth hate now? Is it? Is truth hate? Because the thing is, a lot of people aren't going to like the things that you say, especially if you claim it to be your lifestyle and they just don't approve of it. And they are, I guess, the idea of them trying to convince other people to also not approve of what it is that you're doing. If that's the case, I'm going to bring that up in the end, because that's ultimately what it's boiling down to at this point. But let me just bring up something that I saw. So, and And this is another reason why I don't want to continue doing these videos surrounding the death, because like I said, a lot of people are just in enjoyment of everything that's going on. They are in excitement that this happened. And to me, that's disgusting. There were a couple of hundred people, his wife and his kids, that witnessed him being shot. Like, to witness that for somebody that you came out to see, that's literally like somebody shooting, I don't know, Beyonce. Imagine you shooting Beyonce, somebody shooting Beyonce. Oh my gosh, why would they shoot Queen Bee? These people are evil. They would be in uproar, in uproar. Black people going to the streets, destroying everything all over again. If somebody was to shoot Beyonce during a concert. But Charlie Kirk, oh, it's just a white man. It's just a white supremacist. He keeps talking down on the black people and this, that, and the third. Yo, it's so crazy. And the wild thing is, if this were to have happened 2-3 years ago, I probably would have been saying the exact same thing. And I can't say that that bothers me, but I'm glad that I truly found who Jesus was and the way that we're supposed to be living and treating other people. Everybody. Because the words that I would have said would have been just as bad as the words that I'm hearing people online. And it's crazy. And online is literally like social media has gotten to a point where it's literally like being drunk. You know how when people are drunk and they have no filter and they just say all the business, all the tea and all that stuff, that's literally people on social media. People are just saying everything, which again, a title to your opinion. But it's like, do not be surprised when people look at you a little differently, because we're talking about a man that was unalive. Somebody went out their way and planned for this to unalive him. This isn't, oh, he got in a car accident. This isn't, there was a plane crash. Oh, why are they comparing the plane crash to him versus Kobe or something like that? This isn't that. This is somebody who was honestly the most biggest patriot of being American that I know, because he stood on his Christian faith and he stood on the justice system working, and he stood on trying to create a nation of individuals that just grow, that just live, and that just helps build this economy and build this nation. That's essentially what he was fighting for by Christian means, which in a lot of senses, even for those that are Christian, they're not going to like it, because it requires you to actually do work, to actually do something, to be accountable, and to actually love people, even though a lot of people, they hate other people. It is what it is, though. So I did a video the day that I found out. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I just know that he was shot. And I'm just like, yo, it's crazy that we can't even go out here and speak our minds, and people are willing to do this. The people that are out here and that really crave for these things to happen, for the demise of other people, they need heavy prayer, in a sense of they got issues. For you to wish on the demise of another man, regardless of what they think, you have issues. The man is not doing anything wrong to perpetuate any type of harm, any type of slavery, nothing like that. But you wish for him to be unalive, and you're glad that this happened. You need to reevaluate your life. That's essentially what I was saying. One of the comments that somebody said, shots and prayers. I don't know exactly what that meant, but that was weird. Another person said, God's wrath, I have no sympathy. And I'm like, wow, God's wrath? God's wrath? I should have asked what he meant by that, but I wasn't sure. And then somebody commented, I know his ancestors ate us. I'm good. I want to say she said that she wanted to say hate us. I'm good. But then I commented, why would his ancestors hate us? Was it a black person that shot him? Because last I checked, he was white. So I don't understand. I didn't understand that comment at all. But there were other conversations that was had on Facebook to where I had to correct people. I had to not really correct people, but I just had to bring up, yo, when did he really bring down the black community? When did he, aside from telling the truth? If bringing down the black community is telling the truth, then I guess I bring down the black community all the time, because there's just something about the black community that's just, I don't know, we just don't get it. We just don't get it. And we're refusing to learn when the information is, when people are willing to provide the information on how to live better. We don't want it for some reason. There's only very few that want it, and then when they get it, they leave and they don't come back, because the people that are back here, they don't want it. They want to continue to stay where they're at, and a lot of people in America are not okay with what is here. They're not okay with it. But again, that's towards the end of this whole segment thing, because it's very interesting, and I don't know if there's a really end to that. Let's go ahead and go into the next verse. Philippians 2:3-4. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but to the interests of others. People say that he was a fascist. People say that he was a racist. People say that he was a white supremacist. Why? Because of the things that he said about the minorities, because of the things that he said about the black community. Guys, look, I've been saying this in all my videos. You can't tell me you clearly not looking at this thing from an outer perspective of the situation in and of itself. They could be like, oh yeah, it's easy because he's white, this and the third. There are plenty of white people that have low money, that have no money, that is scraping by, but they're enjoying life all the same and living beyond their means, so that the little money that they do have is enough for what they need. For some odd reason, black people just always want more. They always want way more. So they do outrageous things in order to get more. And the thing when it comes to the illegal migrants, guys, how we there has to be a process. If we're not going to obey the laws, why do we have laws? If we're not going to obey the laws, why do we have laws? I don't understand. If we're going to have laws, why are we upholding the laws for everybody? I don't understand. The situation that was put under the Biden administration that allowed for all the illegal immigrants to just hop the fence and just get their court dates, and then now they're just here. I don't know. The illegals that's been coming here for years, they're just here illegally. Guys, do this in other countries. What will happen to you? They're just gonna let you stay? Tell me another country where they would just allow you to stay if they knew that you were there illegally. Tell me, because I just don't get it. They're trying to get rid of, when they were trying to get rid of the Haitians. Look, the justice system works. I just did a video about that. The Haitians and Venezuelans that were here under TPS, they're here to stay longer. That's been blocked by the judges. The justice system works. If things are plain sight and with the right evidence, it works at the end of the day. But going back to the verse, we shouldn't do things out of our own interest. What benefit did shooting Charlie Kirk have, aside from a minor satisfaction of, yes, I got him? What benefit? Because I don't know if you realize when you do something to somebody that's a martyr, to something to somebody that's been well loved, that's an activist at that, you basically just doubled what they were fighting for. You basically doubled it. So I don't know if you were trying to create a martyr. If so, shame on you. You have no right to take somebody's life for whatever agenda that it is that you were trying to promote. But if you're not, and you just thought to silencing the guy, you just made him all the more louder. You made him all the more louder. The problem is, how are people going to respond with their voices? That's a heavy thought. And that's one of the things I want to implore to all the Republicans that's out here that is hurt by this situation. This isn't the time to fight fire with fire. Charlie Kirk would not, he wants everybody to have the right to the Second Amendment. What that young boy did was illegal. Charlie would not want you to do that, by no means. Now, I just pray that a lot of Republicans get this. This is not how we do better. We just speak louder. That's all it is. We speak louder, but we provide the truth that Charlie provided. We don't bring up the lies. We don't bring up the slander. We don't continue to provide all these false narratives or this misinformation without, having all the facts, because that's not how Charlie operated. Charlie provided all the facts with everything that he had before he even got there, so that he knew exactly what he was going to say, which is why he was good at what he did. And which is why he had that smug look on his face, because he knew exactly where the conversation was going. He was like, yes, I did read up on this and I know exactly what I'm going to tell them. And everything that I read up is facts. So we cannot allow for anybody from the opposite side to really hurt or alter our self-control. In some cases, it may be too late. Some people maybe already have acted. But guys, in all honesty, like, if you're gonna continue on the legacy of Charlie Kirk, you can't do things by your own ways. A lot of people, these news anchors, they're sitting here talking about we gonna continue the fight. This is an all-out war now, and this and the third. And it's like, this is not what Charlie would have wanted. It's not. And if we're gonna claim to be Christian, this is not what Christ would have wanted. It's not. If we're martyrs, we're martyrs. We'll speak louder and we'll continue to spread the truth. We'll continue to enlighten people to see things from a different perspective. We'll continue to hold people accountable so that we can learn to live together more peacefully, understanding the errors of our ways and making better judgment calls, having more discipline, having more self-control. This is what Charlie would want us to do. And above all of that, speak from a lens of a follower of Christ. I just want to play 2 videos real quick of Charlie and what he said in regards to his faith and what he stands on.
I have 30 seconds left to live. I'm dying from a gunshot wound. But what would you actually want to tell me if I have 30 seconds left to live?
Boy, you got 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, you're about to meet eternal judgment. And there's only one way that you can get bailed out of that. And it's not all the good things you did or the moral scorecard. It's whether or not you have Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. And that's the only thing that's going to matter. And so you got 10 seconds left. You're dying from a gunshot wound. And you ask the question, who is Jesus Christ? And the answer to that singular question, who is Jesus Christ, is the most important question for everyone in the audience. Not how much money you have, not how much good stuff you do. It is, who is Jesus Christ? You might say, oh, Jesus was, a teller of good tales, or Jesus was a good person, or Jesus was a historical figure. None of that's going to cut it. It's whether or not you repent and you ask Christ to come in as your Lord and Savior. That's the only thing that will save you from eternal damnation.
If we can believe that, anybody that can believe that, other Christian views, those are preferences. That, it starts there. And if you believe that and truly believe that, and you can say that out loud on camera, to me, you are a follower of Christ. To me, you are in heaven right now. And to me, you're somebody worth listening to. Because if you follow Christ, you have some type of information, and it could be disagreed upon. But the idea is, if we disagree, we can have the conversation just fine. But again, that's just me being on the same side. I don't know. Let's go ahead and look at another one.
Wait, how would you, if you could be,
Like die?
if everything completely goes away, how do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I like die?
Everything just goes away. How would you?
Which is crazy how they asked this, and now we're here. It's wild.
If you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
This was 2 months ago. You can disagree with him all you want. You can't tell me he wasn't a man of his faith. He was a man of his faith. And anytime he spoke, I did not hear anything that went against the Bible. Nothing. Not a thing. And I've watched plenty of his videos. Never did he say anything that was against the Bible. And the crazy thing is, people are just like, yo, he's just some rich, white guy, and this, that, and the third. Oh, he got a whole bunch of million subscribers. Apparently, he didn't hog all of his money. He didn't keep all of his money. He only kept a small portion of it. The rest of it went out to his organization. Now, one could say, oh, well, it's his organization. So man, that's not how he lived. That's not how he lived. So the situation that's coming at hand now is, how are people responding to this? There's a lot of hate in this world. There's a lot of hate, and there's a lot of anger coming from both sides in this world. But there's an interesting thing that happened. And let's go ahead and take a look. So this was at a vigil for Charles Kirk. Notice they coming up. He swings first. You can see on his flag he has some rainbows, so I'm guessing he's an ally of the LGBTQ community. And one would think, oh, he just came up on his bike and they're just jumping him like that. Oh, he has an LGBTQ flag. Let's jump him, because he's disrespecting the grounds in which we're having a vigil for Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what they're saying, but that's probably what some people are thinking. And as you can see, I'm gonna let this play out.
Charlie Kirk! Get out of here! Let him go! Charlie Kirk! Get out of here!
Antagonizing. Why was he there in the first place? One could say they jumped him. Both sides are wrong. Both sides are wrong. One could say, oh, well, there's one side that's more wrong. It's the Republicans. Their side is more wrong. Yes, I will agree, because this is the moment where Charlie would say, this is not how we do this. We shouldn't be fighting him. Just disregard him. He's not even, pretend like he's not even there. because of the state of mind that we're all in right now. Will he say that? Probably not, but I know he definitely would have condoned fighting him. That shows lack of self-control. Is it a heightened emotional moment right now? Yes. But at the same time, homie feels some type of way. If anything, he probably would pull up a table and be like, why do you feel like this? Honestly, that's probably exactly what he would have done. He would have just pulled up a table and a chair and just talk. A lot of these people don't get it. A lot of Republicans are not going to get it. They're not. Some of them do, which is why they broke it up, try to break it up and try to get them out of there. Some of them do get it. A lot of them are not going to get it. They're high in emotion and a lot of them don't see the essence of why Charlie does what he does. They just see that he's a Republican that has the same values, but they don't understand that it's more than just being Republican. It's willing to live in a country where there's some level of more peace than what we have now. And on top of that, being able to live amongst others in a peaceful manner.
Get him out of here. Get him. Hey, he was hitting people. Get him.
They said that he was hitting people. I don't know. Based off of what we just saw, he was on the bike. I don't know how he was hitting people on the bike. One of the other guys won first. So theoretically, he won. But I don't think there's going to be any charges pressed.
This guy. Sorry. No, get him out of here. Because if we were like you would be dead.
Watch your surroundings. Get back. I don't want to be in the front. Get back.
Show some class, man. Come on now.
Hey, man, Jesus loves you.
Come on, everybody. Peaceful. Peaceful. Peaceful.
He's black and he's a sellout. He's black and he's a sellout.
He's black and he's a sellout. And this is why I say that both sides are wrong. You done came, you spoke your piece, and you could have left, but you stayed and called somebody out of who they are, black and a sellout, because he views the world differently. His perspective of America is different from yours. Wow.
The Broncos shirt. You a sellout, boy. ACJ. We know you. Hey, put me online, baby. Put me online. You saw what they did on that free speech. I came out here with free speech. Y'all came with this. Hey, 40 mother. Give me the.
He's not wrong. He had the free speech. Charles would have let him keep going.
The ones, baby. Shoot the ones with me. Anybody.
Look at this embarrassment.
All y'all.
Protecting you that you
Charlie Kirk.
you.
Charlie Kirk.
Look at this guy. You're a piece of
Come with it.
Oh, you're protected. You're dead.
No, I don't believe in these motherfuckers.
What do you
Believe
guys think of
that.
that?
Believe that. No,
You're
believe that.
dead.
I didn't ask for no help.
You're dead.
I didn't ask for no help.
You're
No,
dead.
you asked for help. You got
Oh, yeah,
you
think I asked for help?
Hey, you all these motherfuckers wouldn't. Oh,
yeah?
Old man.
Get out of the street. Get out of the street. Get out of the street.
I'll take a one in the street, dog. You are. You're a sellout. You are a sellout. You ain't Mexican. You ain't Mexican. You pass for white. You go in the store, they treat you good. You know why? You like talking to people like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, handle his ass now.
You fucking piece of shit.
You will back up. Back the up for me, you motherfucker. I will not back up for you. I'm not fucking afraid of you. You don't need to be afraid of me. I didn't see you. Get away from me.
I think he's being arrested because of disturbing the peace. Or something like that.
You motherfuckers. No. I'm not backing the motherfucker.
So ultimately, guys, from that situation, it just goes to show you that there's a lot of people from the left or that are left-leaning ideologists that are going to take this situation and antagonize. And my words to everybody in the right: do not allow them to antagonize you. Do not allow them to piss you off to where you react, because then that shows you have a lack of self-control. And if you want to honor Charlie's legacy, do not let them win. It's as easy as that. Do not let them win. The more we start living the way that Charlie wanted us to live, which is honestly the way that the Bible wants us to live, the more we can have peace. We have to live by the light. Some people are going to say, well, Charlie didn't live by the light. He spoke to, and again, I keep going back to this. People are going to keep saying everything left and right. Look, if I can sit through Joe Biden's speech, and I could sit through Trump's speech back when he first ran, and I could just sit through them and listen to him talk and see what it is that he's saying, you can do that with anybody that you disagree with. Sit with what they're saying and listen to what they're saying. Because at the end of the day, you might find something about them that you didn't know, or something that you didn't think about, or they may actually make sense somewhere. And then that's where we can have understanding for my people on the left. Sit and listen. Or if you're center, or if you're just upset at the situation and you're just okay with Charlie Kirk, or you just don't like Charlie Kirk, sit and listen to his videos, his college meetings and stuff like that, and listen to the words that he's saying exactly. Be objective. Don't make it personal. Because honestly, if you're a Christian and you're an actual Christian, you claim Jesus Christ and you follow what the Bible says, you wouldn't disagree with a lot of what he's saying. True Christians would not disagree with a lot with what he's saying. People may even go to say extremist Christians, let's even say that, are not going to disagree with a lot of what he's saying. But extremist really just means true, because a lot of people, they're not living the Christian life. They're just church people. They just go to the church on Sunday and that's it. But they don't embody what it means to be a Christian. So then this is kind of the question that I had in mind. When we look at Romans 14:19, so then let us pursue what makes for peace and for mutual upbuilding. This is kind of that weird thing, that weird situation that we're kind of in, that I kept saying that I was going to refer back to. How do we find peace? Because I've come to realize the reason that we're like this is it was one thing back in the day where it was just liberals and conservatives, but now it seems to be more than just that. And now it just seems to be about how I live versus how you live type thing, which honestly is kind of the same thing, but I don't know. It's become a lot more and a lot worse, and it's kind of trying to force America into a culture, but that means that a lot of cultures don't kind of fit in, if you understand what I'm saying. And, or at least that's how a lot of people are going to take it, which honestly, for me personally, that's ultimately just what I mean. A lot of cultures just aren't going to fit into the American culture that's trying to be formed, because before, America was just this country, this consumerist country in which all nations could just come and just live here. And there was no American culture. It was just a melting pot, which in some areas is absolutely fine. But this is when we develop segregation, because at the end of the day, as people are growing, as they get married, as they start to have families, their ideology starts to differ. How they walk starts to differ from the people that they know, even family members. And then it becomes a part of, how often am I going to allow myself, my spouse, my family to be around said person or that person or this group of people or that group of people, and whatever the case may be. And then that's when you start to remove yourself from certain situations and then find yourself with like-minded people. which is why it's easy for people that are church goers to just easily flock with church goers, because if we're like-minded about the same things, I can mesh with you a lot better. If and it's just crazy to just even have to say this, but like for me, for instance, and I'm probably going to be writing myself out, I don't like the black culture. Just point blank, period. I don't. I don't. I used to be a part of it. I used to want to be down. I don't think I ever did. I used to want to be down. I used to want to be a thug, but I could never find myself really digging into that. And that's not how I was raised. And I think deep down, that's not how the Bible wants me to live. Because again, you listen to rap music. This is exactly what Charlie would have said. You listen to rap music. You listen to rap culture. You look at all of these situations that we're living out here. I've come from a family where majority of the men on my father's side are just sperm donors. I come from a line of that. Me. So for me to be different and want to do different means that I had to disassociate myself from that type of environment, which I was. I came down, my family moved down here to Georgia, and I was separated from that. And I think it was for the better. So I wasn't there and just being caught up in that culture, because it could have happened. The way that I view music as I started to get older in high school. I was telling one of the young boys this from an organization that I'm a part of. I was telling him, like, we were talking about music. He was like, what's your favorite brand of music? And I told him that, I did like rap and stuff like that. But now I kind of dialed back down on the rap, especially like the secular rap, because as I started to get older, I was like, yeah, I like the beat. But then I started to realize that I'm also speaking the lyrics, even though I'm singing the song and I'm just listening to the beat. I'm speaking the lyrics and I'm like, yo, what the heck am I saying? What am I talking about? Why am I talking about, shooting dudes up, messing with homeboys, girl, and just like getting money and calling females out of their names? That's not me. That's not who I am. So then the question becomes, why would I associate myself with that? I was never much to go to clubs. Sarah go to clubs, all the, drinking and twerking and smoking that's not me. Spending all my money on clothes, that's financially irresponsible, one. But that, again, that's not me. Now, I can say that I have I know several people that do these things just fine. And still become, decent people in society. That's not all of the black community. That's not even half the black community, honestly. A lot of the black community indulge in some type of criminal activity or do things that are specific to them, that are just minor instant gratifications and nothing long term. And one could argue with me about that, but that's why we have this channel. Go ahead and comment what you think in regards to that. But it's just going back to the idea of, how do we progress? How do we find a common ground? How do we live together in peace? Because it's not even just that. We're talking about the Hispanics, but the Hispanic, that's a whole different situation. Then we're talking about the LGBT community and the trans and their rights and their freedoms and stuff like that. That's being taken away, this and the third. I don't know what's been taken away. The thing that I always found weird was that we're talking about trans rights. They always think that what we're talking about is trans sports and stuff like that. Why? It's so ironic how we constantly see the male trans that's transitioning to females and playing female sports, but I never see a female transitioning to a man playing in male sports. Why is that? That's just weird. That's just a thought. Y'all let me know if y'all know. Because I don't know. I haven't seen it. If you can show me where there's a female transition to a male that's playing that, or that's trying to play male sports, then sure, whatever, something can work out. But to me, all the male that's transitioning to females and playing in female sports, I don't buy it. I don't. It's just weird. It's just weird. I need to see the opposite happen as well. Because if not, then I don't really see that as really being a legit thing, but kind of just an out, or a finesse in the system. Same how we see plenty of times where these men are being put into prison, but then they say, "Oh, I'm transitioning now. I now go as a female," and then they're being put in female prisons in some of these states and impregnating cellmates. Look, guys, I just want there to be peace in the world. And to me, as much as people say it, as much as people think it, I can only see that there's peace in Christianity, peace in following the way, because all it does is just speak of peace that comes with a toll, because we have to be renewed in ourselves. A lot of things that we indulge in are sinful things. Well, sinful in the sense of it keeps us away from God. Sinful in the sense of it hurts other people. Sinful in the sense of it hurts ourselves ultimately at the end of the day. And sinful in the sense of it's not what we were designed to do. And if you feel that you weren't naturally in that position, then you just make it an effort to don't do it. That's how you glorify God even more. And the last thing I want to bring up was 2 Corinthians 13:11. And this is for my church goers. Finally, brothers, rejoice. Aim for restoration. Comfort one another. Agree with one another. Live in peace, and the God of love and peace will be with you. It's like we live in this world with all these things that are happening. And the more that I continue to read the Bible and just trying to find a way to live a biblical, holy lifestyle, the way that God intended, the way that Jesus has commanded us to do, I don't know, for some reason, I find it to be more and more difficult, because that leads to a separation of us and the world, which the Bible said was going to happen. Broad is the gate to hell, but narrow is the gate to the kingdom. But then it's like, if we try to do that here, we then ultimately segregate. We then segregate ourselves from the people of the world. Now, can we do things with them? Yes, we can. But what I mean by segregate is now they're not within the circle in which we find peace, in which we find joy, in which we have conversations, in which, we live life with them. We're not living life with people that are different from us. We're not. We're talking to them. We're encouraging them, and we're helping them to possibly see the light. But in actuality, they're not the people that we call up. They're not the people that we provide all our issues to. They're not the people that we console in. They just happen to be living nearby us. And so if they're here, we got to love them. So how do we get to this point where we agree with one another? Because clearly people in the church disagree about so many things, to the point where it's causing us to have a fog in the way that we're supposed to be living as Christians, with love, joy, peace, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Because for you to tell me that you're a Christian and you're okay with a man being shot, I'd have to question that. For you to call yourself a Christian, and to be okay with with a wife and 2 kids witnessing the man of their lives being murdered in front of them, I'd have to question that. Because nowhere did Jesus say anything about being okay with somebody dying. Does hell, even the whole gun. And that's probably the one thing that I disagreed about, Charlie, is in regards to the guns. I can see why America wants it, but that's a slippery slope. And I keep telling people, it's not a matter of him being killed by a gun. He wasn't killed by a gun. He was killed by a human. And that's the problem. It's humans. So when people are like, well, he advocated for guns and he got killed by a gun. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He did. I'm not even going to deny that. You're absolutely right that he did. This is what he fought for people. Now, did he fight for them to use it like this? No. Legal use. Legal use. But again, we're humans. We're flawed. I'm pretty sure he knew that well. Guys, I spoke a lot. I said that I wasn't going to do any more Charlie Kirk videos just because of the situation. But now, after doing this video, I'm going to continue to try to find understanding and seek the truth. I'm going to continue to react to his videos, whichever ones that he may have left that I haven't done yet. And I encourage you guys, if you don't like Charlie Kirk, and especially if you're Christian or claim to be Christian, and you say that you don't like Charlie Kirk or what he stands for, watch his videos with me. Let me know in the comments how you feel, and let's have a discussion, or debate. No, we're going to have a discussion, less so a debate. Let's have a discussion, just as he would have wanted to. Because the only way that we can find understanding for each other is by discussion and by being open and willing to listen. Because how can you listen with your ears closed and your mouth wide open? But yeah, let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Rest in peace, Charlie. And I pray, continue to pray. I mean, violence has been a thing over and over and over again. I guess the important prayer right now is I pray that everybody seeks for God to use them to the fullest before they go. And that's my prayer. Because we don't know how we're going to go. Make use of your life. Love somebody, care for others, uplift them, encourage them. Hold them accountable if they're making mistakes. Judge them righteously. But do so with love. Guide them into truth. It's what Jesus calls us to do. Let's go out and do it.